Comfort Emmanson Bob, the 26-year-old female passenger that was recently seen on viral video allegedly attacked and provoked to action, has said that she sustained injuries in her private part when a yet-to-be-identified Ibom Air Staff pulled off her shirt and exposed her nakedness at Lagos Airport. This, according to Comfort, the shirt torn while she was being carried out from the aircraft was her inner wear that was pinned together below her private part, saying the Ibom Air hostess had allegedly broke her phone, necklace and forcefully removed her wig hair from her head, which caused her a severe sharp pain, and as a result of the pain, she hit the air hostess on the cheek, adding, she became more aggressive when she saw the airport staff video recording her nakedness while she was battling to cover her body as a result of her shirt that was torn with her chest sexual organs completely exposed. Comfort Emmanson gave her own side of the story in an 11-minute video she posted on her Instagram profile on Sunday, August 17, 2025, which was exactly after 1 week the incident occurred. She said she was the one who begged the co-passenger to help switch off her phone when the plane was about to take off at Uyo Airport, contrary to the narratives painted by Ibom Air management that she refused to switch off her phone and a co-passenger on board the plane forcefully took the phone from her and switched it off, and thereafter, Comfort Emmanson engaged the co-passenger and other staff of the airline in a long war of words the Ibom Air management referred to as tirade. Details of her statement as transcribed and presented by Channels Television reads verbatim below. Comfort Emmanson, an air passenger embroiled in a controversial Ibom Air incident, has given a detailed account of the events on board the flight that led to her arrest, arraignment, and eventual discharge by a Lagos court. In a video shared on her Instagram page on Sunday, Emmanson expressed gratitude to supporters who stood by her during what she described as a traumatic ordeal. Narrating her version of events, the real estate consultant recalled that on August 10, 2025, she boarded a flight from Uyo to Lagos. She alleged that a disagreement began when a flight attendant, identified as Juliana, insisted she switched off her phone rather than place it in flight mode. According to her, one of her two phones had a faulty power button. I showed her the phone and told her the power button was bad. She said I could still switch it off through the settings. With the help of a fellow passenger, I eventually managed to switch off both phones, she explained. When we landed in Lagos, everybody was getting out of the aircraft. I went to pee. Coming outside, everybody had already left. I had to rush, carry my stuff and move to rush out of the aircraft. Going out of the aircraft, this lady, Juliana, stopped me and I asked her, "Why did you stop me? Why are you stopping me from going out of the aircraft? Everybody has left, so I need to go out." She didn't say anything to me. She stared at me with a bad eye. I picked up my phone and started recording. That was when she pushed me back inside the aircraft, dragged my wig frontal, tore my clothes and broke my necklace. The pain was unbearable. Leaders of the Nigeria affiliates of Al-Qaeda international terrorist group, known as Ansaru and Mahmouda, have been captured by men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, after 2 months of intelligence-led special operations in northern Nigeria. The West African nation National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, stated this at a press conference with the nation's security chiefs, saying, the two arrested suspected terrorists leaders have cells across the country where they have been executing various crimes of armed robbery in addition to raise funds for the terrorist activities. Details of the public announcement as stated by Nuhu Ribadu and made available by the office of the spokesperson to the Nigeria President, Bayo Onanuga, on Saturday reads verbatim below. Nigeria dismantles terror groups, Ansaru and Mahmouda, with the capture of their leaders. Nigeria has recorded a significant breakthrough in the war against terrorism with the capture of the leaders of Ansaru and Mahmouda. At a press briefing on Saturday evening, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, said the two terrorists on the wanted list of Nigeria, the US, UK and UN were captured in an operation which was conducted between May and July 2025. He said the men were captured in a high-risk, intelligence-led, counter-terrorism operation which led to their capture. They are leaders of Jama'atu Ansarul Muslimina fi Biladis Sudan, commonly known as Ansaru, Nigeria's al-Qaeda affiliate. Rabadu said the two men have been responsible for masterminding many terrorist attacks against Nigeria over the past years. According to Rabadu, the first is Mahmoud Muhammad Usman, aka Abu Bara, Abbas, Makhtar, the self-styled emir of Ansaru. He is the coordinator of various terrorist sleeper cells across Nigeria. He is also the mastermind of several high-profile kidnappings and armed robberies used to finance terrorism over the years. The second is Mahmoud al-Nigeri, aka Malam Mahmouda, Abu Bara's proclaimed chief of staff and deputy. He is the leader of the so-called Mahmoudawa cell hiding out in and around the Kainji National Park, straddling Niger and Kwara states up to Benin Republic. Mahmouda trained in Libya between 2013 and 2015 under foreign jihadist instructors from Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria, specializing in weapons handling and IED fabrication. These two men have been on Nigeria's most wanted list for years. They jointly spearheaded multiple attacks on civilians, security forces, and critical infrastructure. Their operations include the 2022 Kuje prison break, the attack on the Niger uranium facility, the 2013 abduction of French engineer Francis Colomb in Katsina, and the May 1, 2019 kidnapping of Alhaji Musa Umar Uba Magajan Garandaura. They were also behind the abduction of the emir of Wawa, and they maintained active links with terrorist groups across the Maghreb, particularly in Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. The two men, who are wanted internationally, are currently in custody. The capture of Abu Bara and Malam Mahmouda, the group's leader and deputy commander, respectively, marks one of the most following the meeting of President Vladimir Putin of Russia and President Donald Trump of the United States on Friday in Alaska. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said he knows the treachery of President Putin, that, in the coming days, Russia's soldiers may try to increase pressure and strikes against Ukrainian positions in order to create more favorable political circumstances for talks with global actors. Zelensky made this statement some hours ago while stating that Ukrainian soldiers have achieved some successes in Donetsk region, especially in the areas of Dobropilya and Pokrovsk, then ordered the commander-in-chief, Alexander Syrsky, to speak with combat commanders that Ukraine needs strong positions and truly tangible resistance to the enemy. In his words, Zelensky said, "I received a report from Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky. The front, the defensive positions, and up-to-date information on the intentions and movements of the Russian army. We are defending our positions along the entire front line, and for the second day in a row, we have achieved successes in some extremely difficult areas in the Donetsk region, in the direction of Dobropilya and Pokrovsk. In particular, I want to commend the units of the 1st Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, Azov, the units of the 7th Corps of the Air Assault Forces, the units of the 38th Separate Marine Brigade named after Hetman Petro Sahedygny, as well as the units of our 93rd Separate Mechanized Brigade, Kholodny Yar. The destruction of the occupiers who tried to infiltrate deeper into our positions continues. There has also been an important replenishment of Ukraine's exchange fund with Russian soldiers. The commander-in-chief also reported on the actions of our units in the Sumy, Kharkiv, and Zaporizhia regions. I am grateful to all our warriors for their resilience. Based on the political and diplomatic situation around Ukraine, and knowing Russia's treachery, we anticipate that in the coming days the Russian army may try to increase pressure and strikes against Ukrainian positions in order to create more favorable political circumstances for talks with global actors. We are documenting the movement and preparations of Russian troops. Of course, we will counteract, if necessary, asymmetrically. I asked the commander-in-chief to speak with combat commanders. Ukraine needs strong positions and truly tangible resistance to the enemy. I thank every one of our soldiers, sergeants, and officers who are carrying out combat missions and destroying the occupiers in the way that is necessary for Ukraine's confidence. Glory to Ukraine. We had a long and substantive conversation with POTUS, President of the United States. We started with one-on-one talks before inviting European leaders to join us. This call lasted for more than an hour and a half, including about an hour of our bilateral conversation with President Trump. Ukraine reaffirms its readiness to work with maximum effort to achieve peace. President Trump informed about his meeting with the Russian leader and the main points of the discussion. It is important that America's strength has an impact on the development of the situation. We support President Trump's proposal for a trilateral meeting between Ukraine, the USA, and Russia.
Hostess bringing you the news in a more digital way.